Hey there, Stephen here from Crystal Tractor and Equipment. Today I'm out at our Ocala Super Center. I'm here today with our CFMOTO UFORCE 600 series, which you can see in the three available colors. We have Royal Blue, Velocity Gray, and my personal favorite, Tactical Green. I'm going to be going over these machines here and showing you what an awesome value these UFORCEs are if you're looking for a new utility vehicle or something that you can use around the farm and out on the trails, have a little bit of fun with, and get some work done. Now, the UFORCE line is CFMOTO USA's utility vehicle lineup. So we have the C-Force ATVs, the Z-Force side-by-sides, and the UFORCE utility side-by-sides. The 600s being sort of the entry-level model there in that lineup. Now, the thing to remember is just because it's entry-level does not mean it skips on value, because these are packed with many of the same features that you find on the UFORCE 1000 line, as well as many other CFMOTO models. Let's go ahead and take a deep dive and take a look. Now, if you've spent much time researching side-by-sides, you're probably aware that a lot of manufacturers like to give you a bare bones model and then charge you extra for all the other features that you need. And with CFMOTO, you get a lot of these features standard, even on the entry model. So one of the first things we can see here is what CFMOTO calls Ride Vision. That's going to be standard LED headlights and taillights on these models, so you're going to have excellent visibility at night. Up top, you're going to find a canopy comes standard with all CFMOTO side-by-sides, as well as down here at the bottom in the front, we're going to have a 3,500-pound winch, again standard on all base models. All UFORCE models are also going to feature a tilting dump bed. In the case of the 600s, we actually get dual buckles to hold the tailgate on. Makes it very secure. And on either side of the dump bed, you'll also find easy access release handle, and the dump bed itself is going to be assisted with an air shock. And it's not just usability features where the UFORCE line shines. Down here underneath the bed, we'll also find a 580cc 40 horsepower CFMOTO built engine powered by a Bosch EFI system, which sends its power to a CVTech CVT transmission. And both axles, we'll go over this in a minute, are also fully selectable four-wheel drive. So let's have a look here inside the cab and talk about some of the features that you get as the driver on these vehicles. So first thing, we'll notice the steering wheel way up here. Well, it is adjustable. We can tilt that down to a wide range of heights there, depending on what's most comfortable for you as the driver. So here behind the steering wheel, we also have our four-wheel drive selector, currently in two-wheel. We can switch here to full-wheel and even full-wheel lock, with this being electronically controlled within the differentials. So even at a slow roll, we can actually adjust these. Over here on the left, standard parking brake, and on the right, we actually have the ability to shift either between neutral or park, if we prefer to just park on a flat surface. But shifting is very easy. There's no gears to worry about because it's a CVT transmission, much like an automatic transmission in your car. We do have a reverse gear, as well as a forward high range for greater speed and a forward low range for greater torque. Down here, we're going to find our controls for parking lights and headlights, high beam and low beam. And let's take it to the other side and look at a few more of the controls. Now, over here towards the center of the dash, we're going to find a few things. We do have our hazard flashers here. We also have a double USB port for phone charging or other USB devices, as well as your standard 12-volt car port. Now right here is an interesting switch. We have normal and work mode that we can switch between. Now what this does for you is changes the way the vehicle drives. It changes your throttle response to give you a smoother throttle, as well as it limits your top speed. So work mode is going to be when you're actually hauling or towing, or you don't want to go all out in it. Normal mode is when we're going to go out and have some fun. Now when I come over here, we can point out how underneath the dash we have multiple storage compartments available for all kinds of tools. We do have our cup holder up here, as well as dual cup holders here in the center of the dash. And right here we have a sort of glove box. This just snaps open, and inside we can find the winch remote control, which plugs in down here below the steering wheel and lets you operate the winch from outside of the vehicle, as well as our handy toolkit, which comes with pretty much everything you need to change any fasteners or do any basic work on the vehicle, as well as this strut wrench right here, which is going to allow you to change the tension on the shocks and struts underneath here, so you can get a looser or a firmer ride depending on what feels best for you and the type of work you're doing. Now, while we're on the subject of storage, here's where things get really interesting. If we actually look below the passenger seat here, there's two snaps in the back that we can just pull up and open this passenger seat up, and we have a massive storage compartment down here where we can keep other tools, tons of cargo area down here, as well as the funnel and filler neck for oil changes to make things a little easier there for you, or whatever else you might want to store in this area. And this box itself is removable, so you can actually take this out and drain it in case you needed to store anything in here like ice, or if you wanted to use this as a temporary cooler. Then all we got to do to close that up is just drop the seat back down and put our two snaps in place. But it doesn't stop there, because if we take a look at the driver's seat, which by the way is adjustable, so if we're working with a little bit shorter legs here, we can pull this seat forward, quite a wide range of motion there, or go ahead and put it back in place. There's a tab back here that we can pull that's going to release the seat from its catch, pull this forward, and now we've got an entire storage compartment underneath here with a special dry box. And bringing you around here so you can see this a little better, I'm going to try to stay out of the way, but you see that we have this lid here as well as these little snaps. So we can pull these snaps off and take this lid out and find that down inside here, we again have a nice deep storage compartment. It goes pretty far down in there. Now, if you need to, this box itself is removable, so you can take that out and drain it. But if you need airtight or watertight storage, this lid is gasketed, and it's going to keep that area safe for you, away from the elements. Installation is as simple as putting it back in place and putting the snaps back on. And then we just drop the seat back in place. Now, back here at the rear of the vehicle, we'll find a few more of those included features. We do have alloy wheels, again, even on every base model, straight from the factory. Here would be the adjustment points for those spring tensions. And then back here, we do have a 2-inch receiver hitch, where this vehicle is capable of maximum unbrake towing mass of 1,500 pounds. So if you need to tow a trailer behind here and get some extra work done, haul a little bit of extra material out in the farm or down on the ranch, it's going to cover that for you. Now, finally, one of the last things I want to show you here is the all-digital LCD display that comes with these, and it's going to show you a lot of valuable information as a driver. So one of the first things we can see here is going to be our drive indicator. So again, when we switch this little switch on the left, the 4-wheel, you can see that all 4 tires light up, and then when we go to 4-wheel lock, we are showing here that our differential's locked, and we have that flashing to indicate that we're going to be in a difficult steering mode. And then we can simply open that back up, and we're good to go. You can see that our parking brake is on, so I release that, and our parking brake indicator is going to turn off there. Parking brake's back on. Also, we have the headlights indicator. We can see that screen does get brighter when those lights are off, just like it does in your car. And if we turn brights on, we also get an indicator for that. It also shows you the current gear, so we can see the little in up here, indicating that we are in neutral. Now we're in park, reverse, neutral, high range, and low range. In additional, down here we're going to have our fuel gauge, and over on the left side we have our temperature gauge. Here in the center we have an RPM, and when I switch from normal mode to work mode, you can see that it does tell us here, and the indicator changes to the top of the screen. So if we have a look here on the right side, we can use the set button on the left to switch between different indications for dials here. So right now we have our total miles, then we have trip miles, we're going to have an hour indicator, as well as a voltage indicator. This is pretty handy, so if you're parked and you want to make sure your battery voltage stays high enough, you can keep an eye on that, as well as our LED level, which is going to determine the brightness of this LED backlight here. And then of course in the center we have our RPM gauge. In addition to all of the included value that comes standard on these, there's also plenty of additional accessories available from CFMOTO, and you'll be able to see some of those here now. That includes anything from full side hard doors for these, as well as half windshield, full windshield, rear glass, so you can fully enclose the cabin on these vehicles. You'll also find additional racks and various accessories too that's going to help you get even more storage capability and utility out of these vehicles. So as always, I hope this video was helpful. Hopefully shed some light on the awesome value that's included in these CFMOTO units. Now, if you'd like to know more about these vehicles or anything else in the CFMOTO lineup, you can actually go onto our website and view our available inventory at crystaltractor.com, or give us a call here at Crystal Tractor in Ocala at 352-835-3130. We'd love to be able to set up an appointment with you and show you some of these in person, or just stop on by. We're located at 5400 West Highway 40, Ocala, Florida. Have a great day.